Fourth theme, cultural interaction. Cultural interaction recognizes that the immediate cause of some cultural phenomena are other cultural phenomena. A change in one element of culture requires an accommodating change in others. For example, religious beliefs affect the voting pattern. It affects the diet, clothing, employment, social standing, etc. People practicing Hinduism back in India does not eat beef. Those who practice Islam does not eat pork. So cultural interaction is the interrelationship of various elements within a culture, including but not limited to the political system, religion, economic, business system, etc. There are two approaches to study cultural interaction. The first one is scientific approach. The second one is humanistic geography. The scientific one believes that cultural geography should be treated as a social science, and it goes by space and model building. Space is to connote objective, quantitative, theoretical, model-based economies oriented type of geography that seeks to understand spatial system and networks through applications of principle and social sciences, which builds models. And humanistic believes in place, which is culturally oriented geography that seeks to understand the unique character of individual regions and places, rejecting the principles of science as flawed and biased. It goes by a concept of topophilia, which means love of place, used to describe people who exhibit a strong sense of place. And the last theme, cultural landscape. Cultural landscape is nothing but an artificial landscape which has been created by humans. Up here there is a picture where we can see the skyline. Well, this is being created by the humans. Cultural landscape is the visible human imprint on the land, and it goes by four types. Symbolic landscape, which expresses values, beliefs of a particular culture. Settlement form, which could be nucleated or dispersal. Land division patterns, and architectural styles. One of the most familiar and obvious symbolic landscape is the urban skyline. Tall buildings dealing with financial service industries, etc. Well, it represents the power and dominance of finance and economy or economics within that culture. In the study of settlement form, geographers describe and explain the spatial arrangement of buildings and other features that people have constructed over the land and living in that area. One of the basic ways in which geographers categorize settlement forms is to examine their degree of nucleation, or the density of the factor on the landscape element. Urban centers are of course very nucleated, that means densely populated and densely built, whereas rural farming areas tend to be much less nucleated, which geographers have termed that to be dispersal. Land division patterns indicate the use of particular parcel of land and reveal the way people have divided the land for economic, social, and political use. Architectural style is the most prominent way of expressing any culture. Perhaps no other aspect of human landscape is as readily visible from the ground level as the architectural style of a culture. Different cultures would go by different architectural style, symbolic landscape, settlement forms, land division patterns, etc. So cultures would have their imprint on the land based on what it believes in and how it has groomed itself over the year, depending on which environment they are in. Next couple of slides are the landscape which has been created by humans in certain areas, certain regions. This is cultural landscape, terraced landscape of an irrigated rice district in China. In such areas, the artificial landscape made by people overwhelms nature and forms a human mosaic on the land. Well, this is Chinatown in San Francisco, where the architectural pattern as well the layout has completely been imported in. This one is the checkerboard pattern in Westmoreland, Imperial Valley, California. So the landscape which is being created by humans makes cultural landscape. With this we finish. Cultural Geography Chapter 1, where we have learnt about what is geography, what is culture, what is cultural geography, and 5 themes of cultural geography which would remain common in each chapter as we would go by the elements of culture.